don't video game soundtracks have as much singing as popular music? The most obvious answer is that singing can be really distracting when you're trying to focus in on something. But it turns out it's more complicated than just distraction. In fact, vocals in video game music used to be totally unthinkable. A strong contender for the first video game soundtrack with singing in it is 1986's Psycho Soldier by SNK. And there were some problems with this. It doesn't seem like it today, but recorded audio takes up a lot of space, and in 1986, memory was at a premium. So in order to make the recordings fit, the files had to be crushed in size, making them sound grainier than 8-bit cornbread. On top of that, the Psycho Soldier arcade machine had to be built with 2 separate audio chips just to make the whole thing happen, and that's more expensive. So while having real singing was pretty unique at the time, it was hard to justify the cost for something that was basically just novelty. So what if you could bypass the memory quality problem altogether? Well, someone did 3 years earlier. The other strongest known contender for the first video game soundtrack with vocals was 1983's Journey. Yes, that Journey. Instead of digitizing the music like Psycho Soldier had, the Journey arcade machine just had a cassette player with separate waves built into it. While the rest of the soundtrack was just digitized renditions of Journey songs. The cassette player sounded way better, but again, it was expensive to pull off. Even worse, it was bulky and much more fragile than a chip. And these machines had to be designed to be played in public thousands of times by nerds. At the end of the day, a cassette player wasn't gonna cut it. So neither method of reproducing vocals really caught on until the technology improved. And once it did, vocals still didn't become the norm. So why's that? Honestly, it can be pretty jarring to have somebody start singing at you when you weren't expecting it. And all of video game history up until a certain point conditioned people to not expect it. Everything that brought us to this point established a genre convention. But now that plenty of video games have taken the dive and included vocals, new genre conventions can apply. So you come to expect it out of games like Persona and Sonic. Let me know some of your favorite examples down in the comments.